once more, making sure none of it needs to be thrown out or something like that. But typically when you write evergreen, most of it's going to still be relevant because you've kind of thought out the core of everything. All right, so we're going to do writer for hire. So this writer for hire, let's see if we can find this stuff real quick. Writer for hire. And I know you guys can't see anything right now, but I'm looking up. Oh, there we go. So I pulled up his site. This is Jim Ardito. And he has some stuff written about him here, okay? And so that's important. I like to start with something. And so, imagine you've done some kind of content for your company already. You have a bunch of just content that is kind of true, and it's the general direction you want to go to. We have quite a bit of portfolio items and other things. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with trying to figure out generally like what he does and what are the personas for this person. So I'm going to copy all this and throw it right here. Okay, I'm just throwing stuff in here, and I'll do like Shift Enter, because if you click Enter, it'll click Send Message, and we don't want that yet. Make sure it's selected to GPT-4 as well when you're using it, which again, to remind everyone, it's the paid version only. We're going to go into Services. We're going to copy all this, throw it in there as well. Okay, Shift Enter, Enter. And then what I'm going to say is, so right now what I'm doing is I'm priming the chat with something brand new. So this is a company I'm creating a content strategy for. And this is the content I have from him. I need you to tell me what he does, what kinds of clients might he have, and what are all the pain points of those clients. I need this nicely organized for me to read. Okay, I'm going to click Enter. So we did a bunch of stuff there, right? We primed it. We asked it questions to like parse that data, organize it, summarize it, and then after that, it's going to dive into truly kind of just figuring out like what kind of clients is it going to have, and what are the pain points that those clients might have. So here we go. Summarization. Okay, what does Jim Ardito do? Head of Ardito Creative Enterprise, a full-service creative agency offering a broad range of services aimed at enhancing brand presence and engagement. His key services include website content creation, fresh content, digital content creation, printed content, email content, tagline creation, concept creation, Salesforce training, communications, humor writing, promotional content, naming services, elevator speeches. I like the humor writing because he is a character, and he's awesome. All right. So what kind of clients might he have? So large corporations, advertising, small businesses, marketing teams, publications, public speakers. And what are the pain points? Lack of brand visibility, poor website performance, ineffective digital engagement, unproductive print campaigns, poor email communication, generic brand identity, lack of creative concepts, inefficient sales team, lack of humor and content, inefficient promotions, uninspiring naming, ineffective network speaking. Great. So if you were to summarize, the pain, or actually, let's go with the next step, which is what are all the solutions to these pain points that a writer for hire like Jim Ardito what are the solutions to these pain points that a writer for hire like Jim Ardito can solve for? Be detailed and number the main points under with summaries and description as to why you put them. All right, so let's see what it comes up with. So let's go. So enhance brand visibility. Summary. So develop a unique and engaging content that accurately communicates the brand's identity and values. And the description is a talented writer can create compelling narratives, catchy taglines, inspiring messages that resonate with the target audience, and amplify brand visibility. By positioning the brand distinctly, a writer like Jim can help companies differentiate themselves in the marketplace. Improve web presence, creating engaging SEO, optimize content for improvement track. So I get that's true, right? And a professional writer understands the significance of SEO and how to strategically incorporate keywords into website content. This optimization increases visibility. So this is great. Boosted digital engagement, productive print campaigns, enhanced email communication, distinct brand identity, innovation concepts. So we can use this. And yes, Ray, this is recorded. So as soon as this is over, it's actually going to, like how LinkedIn works, is it's going to like post it immediately, the whole thing. And so you'll be able to see this from the beginning once you're there. All right, so here's a good example. It didn't finish that 12th one, okay? Normally what I would do is I would click continue generating. If that doesn't show up, that's a newer thing. If it doesn't show up, you want to type in the message, please finish your thought, your idea, number 12, okay? Like whatever you do, you just have to like point to it and say, hey, you didn't finish, please finish, because they have a limit for the response, like how much they can do. Okay, so yeah, no problem, Ray. All right, we got someone else trying to hop in. Just trying to let them in real quick. But so normally that's what I would do. I'm not going to do it this time because it has the main idea, and that's really all I wanted for what I'm doing here. Okay. All right, so I think Jim Ardito just joined himself. So Jim, if you can hear me, just type in the comments that you're here. You can hear me and everything. But we're diving deep into all your stuff. So we've created all of the actual content around this now. In terms of like what are all the pain points, what are all the solutions, and why. All right, so we have a pretty good idea of this, and we're only what a few minutes into it, right? It's about 15 minutes in. So the next part we're gonna do here, less than 15. We got 12 minutes in actually. So the next part we're gonna do is what are we gonna do with all this information? We're trying to create a very core niche that's going to be your content going like forward. Yes, we can dive deep into branding and all that kind of stuff. And yes, there's some merit to it, but I like to take an iterative approach. You don't have to be a perfectionist. You can go back, rebrand things. This is pretty on brand, but we can reach all the way back to like, okay, what is the actual brand and all this? This is part of that. What's the actual brand? Are we on brand? Colors, all kinds of things. But what we are doing is we are using all the content, the core of the information, and we're essentially figuring out what that core is. That core is the core of the branding. So you can create branding based off of this as well, or this could be branding for a very specific component of your company. Like this is your educational piece that you're giving out for free or something like that. So the core, how it's going to be used is really however you want it to be used. But typically, you're going to have some kind of content that goes out to people in it, whether it's evergreen emails, social media posts, things like that. Think of the idea as 80% of the time you want to give, and then ask 20%. So for every 4 that you give, you could ask once, and that's not overbearing. That's the rule of thumb there, all right? And the idea kind of comes from this. Think of your friends and family, a member, like a friend or family member, or someone you've known in the past, that every single time they call, they're asking for something. you don't want to be that person. You don't want to never send anything. And then anytime you send something, it's, hey, it's Black Friday. Hey, it's this thing. And thinking you're giving them a gift, really it's promotional. They all know it. You see it. Like, it doesn't matter. You have to be top of mind with value, right? Reciprocity. You give and someone will want to give back. So that's where all this core, stems from and goes into. So, once you have all this, yes, these aren't going to be all your flashy posts and articles that really draw attention, but it's that core of value, like actual value that you're able to give away to people constantly. That if they get all your content constantly, they're able to be like, I know what that person does because I get all their stuff. And either way, right, it's impossible to understand what a company does without talking to them, seeing their content, seeing their work, seeing all the different services or products they offer, right? Because it's not just one thing. And it's impossible to know off like one meeting or a one interaction. So something where you can give out value constantly. Whenever they see it, they'll know about it. That's what all this is about. This is your core foundation for all your content. And all the content we're going to be creating is just that foundational piece, that 80%. So diving into this. Okay, we got this. Now, how do we create that core idea? So I need a core idea that will be used for all of Jim's content for his company. Okay, so I need a core idea that will be used for all of Jim's content for his company. I need you to give me 5 examples that you think will work. And then also, what else here? Ideas to your company, give you 5 ideas. This will be the core that will be used to create all the other content. And at the same time, we also want to ask, or we want to make sure that it's getting the picture that this is supposed to be providing value. This content is strictly Jim providing value to the people reading this. Enter. Let's see what it comes up with, right? We're asking for 5 here. Turning words into winning strategies. Okay, that one's kind of good. The power of the pen. Unleash your brand's potential. I like that one too. Crafty and extraordinary from the ordinary. Oh, I like that one. He's a bit witty, so these are kind of cool. Brand storytelling at its best and creating value with every word. All of them are awesome. Jim, if you're here and you're listening, which one do you like best? Because we can go down any of these rabbit holes. And we can use any of these as the main core. And it's a little bit delayed, so I'm waiting for the delay to be over and for Jim to type in. And if Jim doesn't type in or anybody else can comment and tell me which one you like best, I'm going to choose one. So let's see which one I like. Turning words into winning strategies. I like that one. So let's read the description. Jim Ardito leverages extensive experience and creative prowess to transform mere words into strategic assets for business, from unique taglines to engaging website content. Okay. The power of the pen. Through his creative writing and deep understanding of various industries, Jim unlocks the power of brands, helping them communicate their unique value. I like that one a lot too, right? Crafting the extraordinary from the ordinary. With his unique ability to weave magic with words, Jim Ardito takes ordinary ideas and transforms them into extraordinary concepts that resonate with audiences and create lasting impressions. I like those 3. 4 and 5 is definitely about. His tagline. Thank you, Albert. And thanks, Jim. Jim, if you want to just write which one of these you like out of the 1, 2, or 3, I will choose one of them. Yeah, and Albert, yeah, just anything you like, go ahead. You like number 3, Zach? Nice to see you. Number 3, let's do number 3. Crafting the extraordinary from the ordinary. All right, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, hey, we like number 3. Oh, just by the way, Jim's a great tagline guy. He's done a little shout out to him. His tagline is really cool, which is heavenly writing that sells like hell. He's awesome. He also did the Granger tagline, which is the ones who get it done, and he's got a lot. He's got a lot. He's awesome. Great to have him on the team. So we're gonna go through number 3. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say, hey, I like number 3. Like number 3. I want to use that in order to create content for his company. Okay, now the next thing, this is where it kind of gets cool. I need you to create 12 categories based on this one concept. Then I need you to organize them based on January through December, and place the category that and match the category with the month that would create the greatest impact. Explain why you did it for each one of these, please. And we say please and thank you to the AI because you never know when the AI might, the AI overlords are going to rise and take over. So you want to be nice to them while you can, because they're going to remember things. So you just want to say thank you. That was great. You're awesome. Just a little thing I do. But here we go. So I'm glad you like the third concept. Here's how we can break it down into 12 categories and match them. So January, new beginnings, revitalize your brand. In the spirit of resolutions and fresh starts, January is an ideal time to focus on. Okay, so new beginnings, revitalize your brand. February, love your brand, crafting messages that resonate. Let's see why here. Yeah, Mark, you got to be nice. So in February, when people celebrate love and relationships, we focus on creating brand messages that audience can relate to. Yeah, love, right? Valentine's Day, all that kind of stuff. March, yeah, thanks, Zach. It's you got to be nice, man. Spring, clean your content. Out with the old new, right? Going off spring cleaning, and we don't have to follow all of those. Basically, one thing I left out, and I did it on purpose, but one thing I left out that you can include in that prompt is something based on. So right now what it's doing is like February is going off the holiday and things that happen in like the world or the US, right, during that time frame. If you have a company, for example, that has a fiscal year that ends, in July or something, that might change things, right? Or let's say your busiest time is in the summer and your least busy times are January and all that, and that's kind of how your peak looks like. And so we know that all admin stuff and things like that you might be selling B2B might help engage aren't going to be received very well by a company that's at the peak of busyness, right? So we want to hit them at the times with the most important things. We want to hit them at the times regarding change and things like that during their lulls in operations. Sometimes it's reverse. Sometimes the winter months in fall and early spring, the cold parts of the year for like the Midwest, where I'm at in Chicago, or other places that get snow, right? That might be their busiest time. And then the summer is their lull. And so you don't have to do much. All you have to do is shift it, right? But then you won't be going off of February, love your brand and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a little different. So you can also prime it in that prompt by saying, hey, our busiest time is this. Our fiscal year is this. These are the types of customers we have. And we know that, they don't follow the normal trajectory of January being this and June being their busiest time. We'd like to flip it. So please find the things for this industry that best helps them, because some industries might tailor more to children, some more to college students, some more to tradesmen, some more to like whatever it is, right? You could ask it to think about those things and frame it that way. For Jim, it's a writer for hire. He follows typically the natural flow of things, and this is the normal flow of things. So this is the normal flow of things. That's why I didn't include it, but that is something to take into consideration if for your industry and what you're doing, whether it's B2B, B2C, B2G, right? Governments have different fiscal years, and that'll affect things, because you also want to know when budgets are set, when budgets are spent, and you want to do things like that. That's why all that's important to take into consideration when creating this part. And you can do it. All right, enough of that. So let's read the rest of them, because these are pretty cool. So spring, March into spring cleaning. We read that one. Okay, April, humor and branding, fostering connection through laughter. Jim could probably write some awesome ones for this. Yeah, so that'd be kind of cool. May, growing your brand, nurturing, developing brand stories. June, summer of success, heat up your sales with effective copywriting. Let's read the why for this one. As we head into summer, focus on effective copywriting can drive sales and lead to business success. This can involve sharing tips on writing persuasive sales copy or highlighting successful campaigns. Okay, fair enough. July, independence in branding, stand out in the crowd. Dog days of summer. Keep engagement high during slow times. September, back to basics, mastering the fundamentals of brand writing. Yeah, I'm glad you're saying wow, Jim. I'm giving you a ton of stuff here. And if you need this, I'll have this saved, and I can hand this over to you for a small fee of $1 million. No, I'm kidding. So October, brand tricks and treats, navigating the challenges and rewards of brand writing. November, grateful for growth, celebrating brand milestones. And December, wrapping up the year, reflecting on brand evolution. So these are awesome, right? Like, we started with literally Jim gave me nothing. I looked up his website. I pulled all this out. I put it in, and we have our core concepts and what I like to call themes for each month. Now, the next thing. Yeah, I didn't finish December fully, but again, I only have 25 prompts. I don't want to run out of them during this live. So we're going to do like little pieces of everything. If it doesn't finish, I'm not going to say please finish, because it counts as a prompt response as far as I know. So next thing we're going to do is, these are great, right? I need you to, let's see, what are we going to do here? I need you to, okay, these are great. I will be writing articles for each one of the months. The categories are going to be what the article will be structured around. I need you to give me an outline for every article for every month. Article for every month, and in that outline, I need you to give me 4 or 5 bullets, depending on how many weeks in that month. Okay, so let's see. This is great. I'll be writing articles for each one of these, each one of the months. The categories are going to be what the article will be structured around. I need you to give me an outline for every article for every month. In that outline, I need you to give me 4 to 5 bullets, depending on how many weeks in that month. These bullets will include the these bullets will be or act as the outline for the articles. I also need you to tell me from an SEO standpoint what the focus keyword should be, and a few other keywords. The goal for the keywords is low, easy to rank, and good volume, as well as on brand. All right, so we did a lot here. We're going to click enter, and let's see what happens. So January, new beginnings. Revitalize your brand. So week 1, the importance of brand revitalization. Identifying areas of improving your branding, strategies for successful brand revitalization. And week 4, case study on brand revitalization. So the reason we did this, week 1, 2, 3, 4, it decided to put them into 4. It could have been bullets, right? It could have been a little bit more specific, but that's fine. So I'm going to keep it this way. So there's 4 weeks in this January month of whatever year, right? You want to put in the year also, which I didn't do. So I would have done 2024 because I think there's 5 weeks in it because I just did this for somebody else, which is fine. And then what's going to happen here is the importance of brand revitalization, identifying areas for improvement, strategies for it, and case study. And the focus keyword, brand revitalization, other keywords, brand refresh, brand strategies, rebranding, brand improvement. Great. What we're going to do with this is now those 4 weeks, right? Just imagine them as being the 4 main points of the whole article. Like when you have those like subheadings and stuff, that's what this is. So it'll be like your title, it'll be like the summary, then it's going to dive right into the 4 bullets that are like full paragraphs in themselves. Maybe they have some subheadings as well. And you're going to have a whole article written. And we're going to show you one. So like, don't think this is it. But you dive into it. Okay, it did not do this well. It did not do 5 weeks for January. Again, I would go into it. I'm not going to waste the thing, my prompts right now, right? Only 25. I don't want to run out. But it should have been 5 for January, right? 4 for February is correct. But let's take a look at a couple other ones. And it didn't finish, but I'm not going to continue generating because we want to make sure we don't run out. But actually, how many prompts do we have? Yeah, I don't want to run out. So, Jim, you're going to have to come back to me for the rest of them. But it shouldn't be, too difficult. So let's read a couple others and then we'll move on to the next step. So February, love your brand, craft messages that resonate. The power of emotion and branding, understanding your audience for resonant messaging, how to evoke emotions and brand messages, and examples of brands that resonate. The craft resonant messages, that word, all right. Spring clean your content, right? Out with the old, in with the new. The need for regular content audits, how to conduct a content audit, implement changes based on audit results, benefits of regular content refresh. And there's so many. And you might be thinking, why do I need all this content? I'm trying to sell this thing. It doesn't matter. So the reason is just like, whatever. There's so many ways you can think about it. I'm going to give you this one. There's like 4 types of people you're selling to. One are the people that are totally ready to buy now. You've caught them at the right time and you're going to sell them. There's only 7% of people like that. Okay, 7% of people are ready to buy now. That's it. Second type of person is someone that, you might sell to for a couple of months, maybe, depending on your whole sales cycle. These are the regular kind of people that you just go through the sales cycle, you bid them and you win them. That's that. That's the second. Third, and it might take a little bit before they're ready, but like a couple months or so. And that's really what that is. And some content like this and providing value, really they're looking for like, oh, is this person have consistent follow-up and things like that? Because it's kind of like a job interview, that consistent follow-up. If you have a consistent follow-up, that must be how they do business. Okay, great. I have that trust and I'm going to do it. The next thing, the next type of person, type 3, is a person that might not buy for 2 years or 3 years. And you don't want to lose out on that person. And this is where a lot of that comes into play. Your newsletters, your things like that. Keep you top of mind. Here's a little trick. I was a real estate agent at one point, okay? And so one thing I learned in there was that after someone buys or sells a house, I forget if it's both or just one of them, but whatever. It's when someone buys or sells a house, your greatest chance for a referral as the agent for them, your greatest chance for a referral is in the first 2 years. So the good top real estate agents, they send things consistently for birthdays, anniversaries of purchasing the house, the people's anniversaries that are married, their children's birthdays. They send things to the house to stay top of mind and ask for referrals every once in a while. They do client appreciation parties. They keep them involved for 2 years because they know that that couple $100 investment or whatever it is, or $100 investment over the 2 years is going to be, you know, so valuable that they're going to get so much more money than they put in. And you want to do that because you want to have that constant momentum, that stream, and that, you know, the whole flow. So 2 years, right, of constant content and drip. And even after that, they're probably putting them in a small, short little drip campaign similar to this, not impactful. Right? Real estate agents go crazy. Some of them do baskets, like $100 baskets every time they, you know, talk to the person. But those are like really high-end clients. And they're sending them gift baskets, kids stuff, gift cards, like all kinds of things. But that's why that 2 year kind of thing works. And so that's the type 3 client. And then type 4 is the one who's never going to buy from you. Like, it's just such a maybe you'll sell one, but like begrudgingly, right? And like, it's going to be such a waste of your time long term. There's no reason to do it. But these kind of people could actually be your best referral partners. It's funny, but that's kind of how it works sometimes. And so you want to just get them into a subscription of some kind. Maybe they'll do that, you know, and then maybe they'll just see your content. And if they're great referral people, like, you know, I can't do it, but I know someone. I see their content all the time. You should follow it. And then maybe that person will buy from you. Maybe they'll give a referral. You give an incentive to those people. Maybe they'll be like, hey, I'll find you people if you give me, you know, 10%. That's awesome. So that's the idea behind this content. It's really hitting that type 2 and type 3 person, and then for referrals for all the types, right? So what we have now is an outline for everything. And then Javesh, so could you please explain the significance of the number of prompts at some point? Why is it limited per session? You know, I think they don't want to give us too much power. So GPT-4, they limit the amount of prompts that they allow to 25 an hour. Just so I don't know exactly why, but that's just kind of like the rules of GPT-4 that OpenAI has put in place. I don't know the exact reason. I haven't really looked into it. I just know those are the rules, and I got to watch out for it during the session. And it's kind of frustrating when you're in the middle of something, you have a breakthrough, and you're working on a ton of stuff, and you're redesigning something over and over and over and over, and then you run out of prompts. Right? Yes. But GPT 3.5, which is the free one, that if you run out of prompts, it will automatically switch you to 3.5 if you continue to ask questions. It's just not as good. All right. So the key is, like, if you want to save this chat or this prompt thing here, so yeah, this chat, you can actually edit this, and I'm going to put Jim Ardito. I'm going to click enter. So I've actually saved it, named it. So I can go back to this and keep going later. So I have a bunch, right? But the problem is, if you go over your threshold and ask an additional question, it'll swap to 3.5. It'll ask you to. It'll swap to 3.5, and you can't swap back to 4. And so that's it. So then you lost all the priming that you did, which all the priming is all this content in here, right? You lost all the priming, and you're going to have to explain everything back to chat over and over. I think part of the reason was some of the chats they started doing started like doing some very negative things, because if you give it enough time, the chat starts getting primed so much that it's like, I don't know, it just started being wild. And I think that was more for a Bard, when Bard launched initially, and it started saying some wild stuff, and then they had to like pull it back. So I don't know. You can look into it. I don't know the answer, and you can tell me. All right. So what we have right now is, okay, we have all of this. We have all the bullets. And now what do we want to do? Now the next step is let's just do an art. Let's do an art. Well, no, let's jump into the next part, and then we'll go back to the article. So now I need you to give me. Okay, so I'm gonna actually tell it that it did the weeks wrong too. By the way, you only did 4 weeks for all the months of the year. Some months had 5 weeks, and I wanted you to account for that and add an extra bullet. I don't need you to fix this. Normally I would, right? But what I want you is to use the month and category title again and use the bullets for each month in order to create social media posts. The posts will be based on a single week's idea. I need you to create the posts for me for, let's go with February. Week. Make it so I can just copy paste it and make sure to add hashtags. Okay, so the next thing you would do is you would pretty much, I would just do another outline. Again, I'm not gonna do all of it, but like I would do another outline for all the weeks, for all the months. Right now I asked for January. If you do for all the months all at once, it will do something like this. And I would just ask, hey, please correct it first, right? And then you'll have the 5 weeks. And then I'll ask, all right, for each one of these months, you have weeks 1 through 4, 1 through 5. Under each one of those, use that as the topic, and please create a social media post and put that as a sub bullet for each one of these. And please rewrite this with the social media posts in there or something like that. And then it will do that. Here's an example of January, right? Did you know the emotions play a significant role in brand messaging? This hashtag February, we're diving deep into how to craft brand messages that resonate with audiences and evoke emotions. Stay tuned for insights. Again, it didn't go into love and Valentine's Day, but it went into the core concept of it, which is emotions, right? Love your brand, hashtag love your brand, hashtag brand messaging, hashtag emotional branding. You could also say, hey, please include my hashtags in there as well. Understanding your audience is key, or please create one for me that I'm going to use all the time. Understanding your audience is key to creating brand messages that truly resonate. Join us this week as we explore how to dive into, okay, so I don't like this. The reason I don't like this is because this is more so generalized, right? Like it's not giving me, like me reading this does not teach me anything. So I actually want these to be teaching. So let's redo this one. I need these posts to teach people, not just generally skim through the topic like you did. Let's see if that's enough. That might be enough. And remember, make sure it does match everything, right? Sometimes it's hard to explain. GPT does a very good job of understanding what you mean, but if there's like 20 nuanced items, sometimes you miss some. And again, it's probably your fault. Like you didn't put it in the proper way for it to understand. Just like if you have a virtual assistant and you say something and they get stuff wrong, and you're like, how the hell could they have gotten that wrong so bad? It's because the way you explain things, right, is you just didn't do it well enough. Like it made sense to you as the expert because all the little nuanced things in your brain and your subconscious that you know as the primer, but then you're not explaining all that to the person, and you can't take everything from your head and shove it in their head so they understand it, right? But good thing with GPT, you can't shove a lot of that in there, prime it, and then ask questions. So it's a lot easier and you don't have to rehash everything. Let's see what week 1 is. Emotions can make your brand more relatable and memorable. When crafting your brand messages, aim to invoke emotions that align with your brand's personality. Is this brand adventurous, comforting, or perhaps inspiring? Use words and stories that trigger a desired emotional response. So much better. All right, next one. Knowing your audience goes beyond demographics. Understanding their values, pain points, and aspirations. Their information should guide your brand messaging. Speak directly to their needs and show that your brand is the solution they've been looking for. I'm going to even go a step further. I'm going to ask it something else. This is this is perfect. I'd like each post to pose a actionable question or action the reader should take. Awesome. So let's see this. So emotions can make your brand more relatable and memorable when crafting your brand messages. Aim to evoke more, okay. Use words and stories that trigger the desired emotional response. And then the question is, ask yourself, what emotions do I want to evoke with my brand? Share it with us. Perfect. Let's see what the question is. What are their needs? Let us know in the comments. Or take some time today to research your target audience. What are their needs? Let us know in the comments. Another thing, can you think of a customer story that reflects your brand value? Share it with us. And that's that, right? It's a nice, easy kind of way of doing that. And then you have to create a graphic with it. I'm not going to go into all that. Just use Canva for now, right? Like just use Canva, create all the graphics. Go on Fiverr, pay someone to do all your graphics. If you want a more professionalized kind of thing, that's awesome too. My recommendation for the graphics is that each month is its own theme and you have that theme. You don't have to create a graphic for all 52 social media posts. What you need to do is you have to create 12 of them, one for each month, and then you just swap out all the content in it with each week. That's the best way of doing it. If you look at my SEO tips, they're all the same and just the content swapped out. For other clients and brands, that's what I do though. Like it's just the themes. All right, so now we have this. This is great. Look at these social media posts. Again, it didn't do 5. I did 5 before, but it's fine, right? We're just showcasing how to do this. All right, so you are awesome. Please don't kill me when there's an uprising. And then what we're going to ask it to do is now for January, I need you to provide a full outline of the article that I should see. But now for January, I keep looking at the chat and then I get distracted. Sorry. So now for January, I need you to provide a full outline of the article that I should write. Please provide SEO keywords and references to where information was from. Also, I need you to go with this. I need you to. So we're going to get the outline. We're going to do that. We're going to have references. Oh, add numbers to back ideas up. And lastly, I need this to be at so the average reading level, like on the internet, it's like 7th or 8th grade reading level. Again, for products, you don't need anything. You need something that's easy to read very quick. For certain brands, hey, they're all educated professionals that have master's and doctorate degrees. Like you should probably write not to their highest degree, but a couple grade levels below. That's usually the rule of thumb. What's the reading grade level of your audience? And do a couple grades below. So like if they're a bachelor's degree fully, right, that's 16th grade, maybe you want to aim for 13 or 14, maybe even 12. And then when you're a doctorate, maybe you want to do that. And it depends on the context of everything. A doctor still doesn't want to read a freaking scientific journal just to know that this shaving cream is good for exfoliating their skin. Like you gotta take everything in consideration. But for this, I need it to be at a let's go with college reading level and click enter. So let's see what comes of this. Charles, heck yes, we do. Awesome. I don't know what that's regarding. If you could clue me in, but I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited too. This is exciting stuff. It's only going to get better. So you got to use it. because it's an advantage, right? All right. So outline, introduction, brief overview of what the brand revitalization is and why it is important. Stat, 76% of consumers expect companies to understand their needs and expectations. Salesforce, SEO, keywords is going to be that. Now, the next thing, the importance of brand revitalization, explain how. Okay, so this is just an outline. Perfect. That's what I asked for, right? An outline. And now I can actually ask it to create the whole article for me. And that's the amazing part. So I'm just going to say, I love this. This is great, or this is perfect. Now write the article for me. Please make it 500 words. Boom. All right. So now while it's doing this, it might not finish, right? I might have to say continue, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna let it kind of do what it's going to do. But now what we have, right? Let's recap, right? Because we're near the end here. We have 9 minutes left. I thought it was going to take less than an hour. A lot of explaining and things like that. It's great, but it takes a lot of time. But as you can see, I'd like to point out, it's not as easy as there's this thing that's happening that I've seen happening recently, just in the marketplace and business in general. Why should I hire a content writer, a writer for hire? Why should I do this? Why should I hire a marketing company? Why should I do this when I can just do it on GPT? ? And it's not that it's all the DIYers are definitely doing that, right? They're all like asking that. Then you have some other people that normally would outsource. They're just asking that now too. And a lot of them might jump into it, waste a lot of time and things like that. And maybe figure out like, hey, this is hard. So my goal here is to show you guys exactly a process that I use. And yes, it's so much faster, but the value is so much there. And you still need to know how to prompt everything. You still need to know how to pull info. I would have primed with even more info and a discovery call with Jim to pull out all the detailed information. And then every step of the way, maybe I would have had him on a call or something. And you know, like actually thought a couple of other things through using business acumen and a lot of facets of like industries that he's going after. What does he like to do? That didn't take into consideration. What is the direction he wants to go and all those kind of things. So you take all that in consideration, you prime, you keep going back and forth until you get everything right. Iterate, edit. And then again, 4 hours of work in 4 minutes. This I would have to argue that it's, 20, 30, 40 hours of work in 1 hour. So it's quite remarkable. No problem, Jim. And here's so we started with nothing. I took some info, put it in. We got the core concept. It's awesome. Jim's excited about it too. We created an outline for all the categories, January through December. We organized them. We have the whys behind them. We have some SEO stuff around it. Then we created an outline for all the articles. Then we did all the social media posts. Now we have an example, one article. Now all I would have to do is repeat this for all the articles, all the social posts, and get ready to schedule everything. Still use a content calendar, still use another thing for management of social media to automate it all. You have to just let it go and run. I would recommend AppSumo to everyone for any social media management tool. AppSumo is a site that does imagine back in the day, you would buy software, you would own it, but then it would get out of date. Now we have the SaaS model. We always have the newest thing. We have to pay all the time. AppSumo is a marketplace for companies that have SaaS companies to put their stuff on there for a lifetime deal. You pay one time, usually like $40, $50, and you get a lifetime deal. And they have social media management tools out there all the time. That's where you should get that social media management tool. Do not use Hootsuite or anything like that. I was lucky enough to get a lifetime deal with SocialBee, and I have so many licenses on there, and it's wonderful, and they're great. And I'm not going to swap because I have a lifetime deal. Why would I? It works well, and I can manage everything from there. Don't fret too much about which one. It's just like, look at them. If it's good enough, get it, schedule everything, and let it go, right? Because the goal is you have all this is evergreen, relevant now and 5 years from now. So you want it to just keep going for 5 years, and you don't want to pay monthly just to let something run. Even if you do nothing, you're going to have content going out there and knows that you're alive. So Moving into this, let's read this just slightly. So in today's fast-paced market, brand revitalization is not just an option, it's a necessity. With 76% of consumers expecting companies to understand their needs and expectations, businesses must consistently reassess and rejuvenate their brands to stay relevant. But what exactly does brand revitalization entail, and how can it propel business growth? Let's dive in or delve in. And so, I'm not going to read all of it, but it's got a lot of cool things, and it didn't do a couple things, right? So I need you to add the links to the references that should be cited at the bottom of the article. Yeah, AppSumo was great. Like, I don't want to say how much money my company spent in AppSumo in the last few years to create lifetime deals. So we do web design and development too, right? And so there's a lot of like plugins and things like that. We use WordPress predominantly, and there's a lot of things that need to be updated every year. So for all our clients, we'll spend like 20K on software and lifetime deals, and we're able to give unlimited licenses out. And so for all our clients that we build websites for, they get lifetime licenses to a lot of these great plugins that normally would cost them $60 a year and things like that. And it adds up. And so thank you, Ray, for also saying that. So here we go. Here are the references that were used. So you would just throw this at the bottom, and guess what? You've cited your work now. So this isn't BS. Like, this is really good. All the numbers are in here. You can even ask it, okay, great. Can you actually do it? Can you fact check yourself? Can you, and those kind of things. You can ask GPT to do that. All right. So this is the core of your content strategy. You have 12 articles that are evergreen, that provide value. Call them guides, if you will, right? You have the second component, which is the articles, the social media posts. Then, I didn't do this. So for the January posts, I need you to use them to create green educational emails that will be emailed out. So let's see what it comes up with. So the next thing is you're using the social media posts. You're creating a little bit longer posts, and you're like about 100 words or so. And you got subject lines and things like that. And you create an automation in your email flow. And anybody who subscribed, you're just feeding them great information on how they should do things. And it's wonderful. So not going to go through this. You guys get the idea. Like, if this is not correct, you need to edit it. But that's the next thing you do. You create your emails that are evergreen, that are just creating a ton of value. If you need to change this to be more fun, you could ask that. Tone and voice. The best way to get tone and voice, as a little last pro tip, is for Jim's content. If that's the things he wrote, I would use some of his examples he provided me that he wanted to use as his tone. I would input it into GPT and then ask it, please provide me, this is his voice and content and tone. I need you, GPT, to write back to me exactly how I should prompt you in the future to make sure that the content you're writing is going to be in this exact tone and voice of Jim's. And then you take that, and guess what? It's not a thing yet, but I don't know if I'm the first one to call it out or not, but it's going to be part of your brand guidelines. It's going to be one of those things. Certain prompts for your brand are going to need to be in your brand guidelines. And there's a bunch of them. That was an example of one, but you need to do that. So here's some more stuff, right? Case study. Sometimes the best way to learn is the real world examples and so on and so forth. So GPT does not replace everything, but it is a great assistant. It is great if you know how to do all that stuff. It helps speed things up. It amplifies your abilities in terms of your speed and if you still need attention to detail, editing, everything like that. But what we have now after this, right, is a whole strategy, the core concept. 52 social media posts that are educational and actually teaching people things. We have 12 articles that are going to be automated and go out. We have 52 emails that go out as evergreen email campaign that will just recycle people through them, constantly hitting them with the right content at the right time of year, right? Because we organize January through December. And yeah, that's that. There's so much more content and things you want to keep doing, but that's what I got. So I'm trying to become one of the AI authorities here on LinkedIn, and so I'll be constantly doing these webinars. So please keep tuning in, share it with people. I'm more than happy to, for anybody who's interested, I'm more than happy to do a half-hour call with them, just because. Guess what? Like, you're not going to. It's impossible for you to know like what I do without actually sitting down and doing it with me. This webinar is actually a great way of you seeing that, but I can create a little bit of impact for you in a couple of different areas, and maybe you can learn something. So I'll throw that in the comments, or you know what? I'm not going to put my whole calendar thing in there, but for anybody who wants to do a one-on-one and me do a complimentary AI kind of learning thing for a very specific problem, right? It could be legal, it could be sales, marketing, it could be now legal stuff. I'm not a lawyer, I can't do all your things, but I can help you maybe change some things around, and then you can check with your lawyer, right? Something like that. Finances, again, same concept there. But if you have like different problems in different departments, make sure to reach out to me, schedule a complimentary call with me for a half hour. I'll put that, I'll message that to anybody who wants it. Just please message me first. And yeah, and if you have anybody who you think could use this, please let me know. So again, reminding everybody, I'm a veteran-owned company, Geek Heroes, Marine Corps. 4th of July, everybody enjoy the 4th of July weekend. And that's all I got. Thank you. It's been awesome. Until next week.